average price paid for a second-hand car is £5,366.
That buys you a 4-year-old Ford Focus, a 6-year-old Honda Accord, or possibly even a 7-year-old VW Passat with a diesel engine. Now, don't get me wrong, those are all fine cars, but life's a bit too short, so I want something with a bit of zing.
I reckon these are the ultimate second-hand sports cars. The Mazda RX8, BMW Z4, and the Porsche Boxster S.
Yep, you can now buy these cars for about £5 grand, considerably less in some cases. And we're not talking about poverty spec machines that have been to the moon and back. No, we're talking about properly maintained cars that you can use every day.
But which one of these three makes the best all-round proposition? It's my job to find out, and I'm going to start with the Porker.
If badges matter, then look no further, because buying a Boxster gets you a car with proper supercar cachet.
Introduced in 1996, early Boxsters had a 2.5-litre engine, but in '99, Porsche offered a more powerful 2.7-litre and the top-of-the-range Boxster S.
This had 3.2 litres and kicked out 252 brake horsepower. And believe it or not, the S variants are now kicking around for £5 grand.
For £5 you could expect a car that's done over 80,000 miles. But don't be concerned. A well-maintained Porsche can easily go over 100,000 miles without needing any bits replaced.
Now, the S I'm driving is a 2000 model, and I have to say, engine still feels strong, but the interior, it's a bit past its sell-by date, if I'm honest. But I don't think that should detract. It's a great bit of kit for £5 grand. Yes, please.
But a neglected one can be expensive to fix because the mid-engine is hard to access, so check for a service history.
Fortunately, Porsches seldom go wrong. However, there's a couple of areas to look out for. One in particular is have a look inside the radiator cap. If you can see any mayonnaise, then be careful, because engine liners do wear out, and if they have done, you're looking at a new engine. That's going to cost you £10 grand.
If you'd prefer to have an engine up front, take a look at my next pick, the BMW Z4.
These cars have got the feel that they're just going to go on forever. You know, it's a car you can do a lot of miles in. It's very smooth, very quiet, very refined, even compared to the Porsche. And I'll tell you what, the build quality is absolutely second to none. It's simple, classic, elegant. And I'll tell you what, the interior, oh, it just leaves the Porsche for dead.
The Z4 was introduced in 2003, offering a choice of 2, 2.5 and 3-litre engines.
Now this one's the 3-litre, and in my view, the only Z4 to go for. It's got a phenomenally smooth straight-six engine, probably one of the best engines ever made.
There are few mechanical issues with Z4s, but you should still listen out for a tinny rattle in the engine, which suggests the Vanos timing unit could be on the way out and is going to set you back £1 grand. You should also check the electric hood is in good shape, as replacements cost upwards of £3 grand.
Expect to pay around £5 grand for a car with 80,000 miles, but it will be several years younger than a Boxster. Oh yes. They're great. I'm loving it.
My final car is a less obvious choice. It's the Mazda RX8, which first appeared in 2003.
You couldn't miss it, could you? It's unlike any other sports car before or since. You know, it's got 4 seats, 4 doors, all wrapped up in this weird reptilian-like bodywork.
But the car's defining feature is under the bonnet. It uses a rotary engine, a type of internal combustion engine which doesn't use conventional cylinders.
Upsides, it's very free revving, gives fantastic performance for the size of the engine. Downsides, well, they drink a bit of oil, and by God are they thirsty.
You'll be lucky to get 20 miles to the gallon. And another expensive sting can be the headlamps. Check for water ingress, which might have fried the electrics. A new pair is going to set you back 1,500 quid at dealer prices.
Listen to that. Now this engine is the equivalent of 1,300 cc. It kicks out 230 odd horsepower. But there's also a detuned version which is 192. But you don't want that. This is, by anyone's standards, a great little sports car. A 70,000 mile version, a bit like this. You can get one for less than 1,500 quid. Unbelievable.
So, 3 great cars, all with a compelling argument for buying them. But which one should you pick?
Well, if you're looking for the best sports car, it's got to be the Boxster. But if you want a car that you can live with every day, then of course you go for the BMW. But if it was my choice out of these 3, I'd go for the RX8. I enjoyed it more than the others. It's a great drive. And also you're going to have 3.5 grand left in your pocket when you've bought it. Think what you could do with that.